Good day, I'm Ikslorin, and let's go back on the ladder with this very aggressive and very successful tempo mage by NRJanos, if I don't mispronounce his name or forget what he was actually called. I think we can just see it before this. I think it's, yeah, pretty certain it was NRJanos, but there's a link in the description to the deck. So, there you go. Double flame cannon could be good against some kind of plays with the armor smith or other stuff. So especially if this is going to be a Grim Patron warrior. Mad scientist, I like. Source of Princess, I like. We can't coin the Source of Princess, though that would be killed by a fiery warx. But then we would be able to double flame cannon. But no matter what, we have a lot of choices. I don't think the coin on the Sorcerer Princess is good, because he's always going to have this fiery war. So maybe just coin a mad scientist here, so that we will have the 2/2 on the board. We can flame cannon, we can fire blast and trade. We can do everything we would ever want. So if he has a fiery war, you can be probably pretty certain that he's going to be a control warrior, I'd say. I mean, fiery warriors is also in a Grim Patron warrior, but they don't seem to be having as many of these have them as much in the opening hand as is usual for a control war. I may just be delusional here, but it is a Grim Patron warrior, that is very clear. So we can just flame cannon that and be going our way. Really, we can actually just Source of Princess and flame cannon that. At least we will get the fiery war used for something, and then we can go for the water elemental. We could also keep the Source of Princess down on the board, and then go for Water Elemental next turn. Then we can keep freezing him and then actually have some more use out of the Water Elemental. But he's playing the cool Taskmaster on nothing. To see if this is a mirror entity. Okay, I like that, actually. So let's just go for the Water Elemental. Keep on poking him in the face with that. Probably go for the Water Elemental next turn. Though, since he doesn't go into the Water Elemental, he doesn't have an execute, I think. But we don't have anything to do with for the lower step here, so I'm just going to go and draw some cards, really. That we can probably, or hopefully, use next turn. I mean, we have 6 mana, so we can Flamewaker, Flame Cannon, Arcane Missiles. We can do a lot of damage, actually, next turn, so I think we can be pretty safe, actually, about this. Especially with this board, I think there's at least something that is going to die here. So yes, Flamewaker. Probably should start with a Flame Cannon, in the hopes of getting this one. And close to dead. We probably should go for this one and end our turn. Then he can't trade in this way, but the Flamewaker, most importantly, is still alive then. But there's a Death Spite, because we cannot do anything to his face. In a rage, counterspelled. At least something, but he just goes for the shield block instead, so he was really just playing around the counterspell. So yeah, we probably just have to go for an Asia Drake and just a mirror image to keep this Asia Drake safe, and then we can play the Water Elemental behind the 2. You can go in and pop this for the execute on the Asia Drake, but then the Water Elemental is going to be very much safe. And he has a lot of armor actually for being a Grim Patron warrior, so he's much more controlish rather than what we may have seen at other times. Interestingly enough. This will be 4 mana no matter what, so we can actually go for the Source of Princess, then Arcane Intellect, see what we can. We can still go for the Water Elemental plan. There's another Flamewaker. Should maybe Frostbolt his face, just to keep him away from using, but then we still would need a freeze with before the Water Elemental hits him, so I think we'll have to go for this instead and just hope that he doesn't have a shield slam. I'm pretty certain that Grim Patron warriors don't use shield slams. I'm pretty certain, but we also have seen a lot of stuff that is related to armor, so I could also be completely wrong about this. Well, this should be doing something. That's pretty certain. So if we go in here, or let's see, if we go in here, we can probably get this one popped, hopefully, by the Flamewaker. Maybe, or we can fire blast it, meaning that we can trade in this one. Then I would probably want to fireball this one so that we can get this one over. Nah, I think it's okay. I was thinking if I could in some way get the water elemental to hit the face without having to sacrifice the source of princess, and I'm not completely certain if that was actually possible. But we're going to see a Fiery War is followed up by some of the card. Sludge Belcher, okay. So yes, he's still very much in this. He can still very much just top deck himself to get into into a good position here. Unstable Portal is going to do a lot of good stuff for us. Going to trigger this, going to get a Calyrex. Awesome. Question just is, should we cannot get through and actually make him I don't think we can actually make him ghost, so I think this is the better thing, just to make Flamewaker have more HP. The water elemental is going to be dead no matter what. If he top decks a brawl, we're a little bit in a problem, especially since both of these can be killed by the Fiery Warx. He's going to kill the Flamewaker, and so he isn't thinking about going for any kind of okay, so he has a whirlwind for the water elemental. I like that. But now I also have one. I don't really want to use it though. I don't see any use of it. But let's just go for this and apply pressure and tempo. I actually think this is close to lethal. We only need 3 more damage. Whirlwind sadly doesn't hit face, so EGG's. And I'm pretty happy about how this went. Win streaking further into 15. I may actually just keep on playing this deck until I get to around 10, and then switch back to the Freeze Mage, so that so at least I can get some games that are not against Twisting Nethers. Druid. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I'm not completely sure if Druid was. The Zoo should be the worst matchup for this. Druid was also the worst matchup for something else. Can't remember what though. I don't think actually it is that bad for this though. Druid has a lot of irritating board clear and stuff. So, and since we don't really have much stuff that we can actually use on him, except for the fireballs can be used to remove big threats that he could innovate out. I mean, if he could get Thorazine out on turn 2, not turn 2, on turn 4, we can go for a fireball or something like that. But this should be more than fine. We get the mana worm away, can still be wafted. Very much still be wafted, but we will still have this tempo play. In one way or another, we have to try and play this deck correctly. It doesn't seem to have a waft. Good. Like it. Also, he would probably have had a waft, used the waft before if he actually had one. So since he doesn't have any ball clear, let's just go for the Flamewaker. Get ourselves in a position where we can just snowball. And we can fireball next turn, pretty much killing anything that he would want to innovate. Since he hasn't played any cards yet, he's very much not going to be anything aggressive or mid-range. The chance that he isn't going to have anything that is going to be what was it? That he has anything that was that could be played the very first few turns and be an aggressive player is very low. So because of that, I think going for the Flamewaker was a good choice. Swiping, you should probably have expected that to happen, but you had to play it at some point, shouldn't you? And should maybe think about frostbolting his face just to buff the mana worm even more. and just keep him away from using his hero power. So he has pretty much shut us down now, hasn't he? Well, at least this will do something. At least we will be able to still apply pressure and deal 3 damage to this, each and every turn. And we can maybe, but if he actually gets a Wrath out, I'm beginning to be out of answers or stuff to do. But finally we get to something that I was expecting. So a Fireball, it is. A Fire Blast in the face. Not using anything else, we would want to wait for another Flamewaker or another Mana Worm. I don't see any reason to go for Arcane Missiles or Frostbolt. They can still be played, even should the Sorcerer Princess be killed. Ascension. So this is a Wamp Taunt Druid, I guess. But I'm still very certain that I would probably just let's just do this. And go for Arcane Missiles. 2, 3. Close enough. Could also Frostbolt before and then Arcane Missiles. Then we would actually have been sure that it would have been dead. So that was a misplay. Because now I had to sack the Sorcerer Princess. The only reason why you would want to probably keep that is if you had actually had a Mana Worm or more importantly probably a Flamewaker in hand. But he goes for another Druid of the Cold. So we can probably be feeling pretty okay about this. We could go for Ragnaros and go for the RNG. We could also go for the Water Elemental. I like that more. Water Elemental is going to be able to put us into a position where Ragnaros is going to be even stronger and more reliable. So I think, yeah, I like that. Especially also since we still have the taunt removed. I'm pretty certain I just fireball the taunt. There we go. And then we still have the Asia Drake out, so this Frostbolt is still going to deal 4 damage. But we're not going to be able to kill him because of that with the Frostbolt and Ragnaros same turn. We will have 7. We're just 1 off lethal actually. Just 1 off lethal. If this Sludge Belcher wouldn't have been put down, obviously. Don't really want to actually go for Ragnaros, I think. This I'm much more fine with using. If we go for the Sorcerer Princess, we cannot no matter what use the Fire Blast, so this is totally fine. And I would rather go for the Asia Dragon here, just to freeze his face. There we go. I cannot really argue. There's no reason to not go for Ragnaros next turn, no matter what happens. I mean, we can always answer his Ragnaros with our own, and the worst thing would be that it would hit our Water Elemental, but it doesn't. And I think actually this is lethal. Fair enough. You don't even need to do anything fancy, we just need to kill him. So, there we go. And Jesus, we have only lost once, I actually think, against that priest at very first, which I'm still not completely certain of why I'd lost, but we did lose to that one. But since then we've just been on a win streak from 17, actually from 18 all the way down to 14 now. At least I'm going to keep on playing this one just to go to 10, so then I will probably go back to the Freeze Mage just to play a little bit more of that. I find it to be fun. By playing the Freeze Mage, because it's just so very interesting. Especially because it's just so it's just very satisfying to use the Malagus, because my Freeze Mage has Malagus in it. Thank you, Day9, for that one. Okay, this could be good. We can coin Mad Scientist on Stable Portal whenever he gets the Fiery War Axe out, or Flamewaker whenever he has used all of his Fiery War Axe. That's pretty good. If he doesn't have a Fiery War Axe, we may actually want to... actually, we have nothing to do with just if he didn't go for the fireworks, it wouldn't change anything. We would still have to go for the unstable fall. That's the only play we have. This because we have the Asia Drake. Perfect synergy. I mean, this deck is really made by a genius. This synergy here, just perfect. And actually, I may actually just want to go for the co-opter here and just kill this. Have a 5/4 on the board. He will have to go. He can have 4 mana next turn for a Death Spite, but he would take 5 damage to the face. I would get a big threat out on the board. The Flamewaker would not be able to do anything. If the Death Spite would still be able to kill it, this 3/3 would still be on the board. So I think this is better. And I mean, whenever we get something like this, we obviously have to use it. Interesting. That is a high use of pirates that I'm not completely sure if that is usual. But I can see why it would work. I mean, we have seen someone try to go for a pirate rogue, so why shouldn't that warrior work? And we only need 1 from the Flamewaker. Come on! Damn. I don't really want to trade. Everything here can trade more than fine. She won't be buffed at any other point, so he can't trade in for a Fiery Wargs and something here, but I'll just keep on applying pressure. I will leave the trading to him, really. Water. Love it. Okay, so we're going to see an execute in Flamewaker. Okay. I cannot say that I'm not content with that. That is pretty good. There is nothing to argue about that. I mean, we can just throw down another Flamewaker and that is it. We could also throw the Asia Drake down. We will get spell damage, we will be able to get a card war, and we will have minions that trade very good with this. He doesn't seem to have a Death Spite, so it looks much better than what he already has on the board. The Water Elemental has to be played next turn, probably. That is... I would probably just not go for that, actually. Just to fireball this Frothing Berserker then. And then, yeah, fireball the Frothing Berserker, fire blast this and go for face. Fireball, fire blast, face. Keep his board off, keep him away from getting tempo and anyway board control. And next turn we can be pretty certain that the Water Elemental will go down on the board. I don't think there's anything else that can be done. Thorison, going to be a very safe play for him just due to the fact that I have no more fireballs. I'm pretty certain I've used both, or was that against the Druid? I think that was actually against the Druid, so we could still top deck a fireball. Well, if I fire blast this, we would have 5 mana left. That would be these two. We can also source Apprentice, Flamewaker, Arcane Intellect, face. Which will do nothing at all. We will be able to trade this way and this way. At least we will have the Flamewaker yet, and another Source of Princess and a counter spell. So that would be... So we can play all of these 3 cards in one turn. And he's gearing up to go for the Grim Patron combo right now, so... Except if we can... I mean, if we just top deck the other Fireball that I'm somewhat think that we may have, we will probably have close to lethal. Maybe. He's actually going to go for just killing the Flamewaker instead. Yeah, I can understand that actually. So this thing is going to be huge. Should maybe not have done that, but he's just going to do that anyway. It's going to go up to 12. Well, I'm just going to go for this then. Counter spell, so he cannot do anything else. But he has a lot of damage on the board. I could very much lose this still. But I still have lethal, so he has to either kill me this turn, or he will have to... yeah, kill me this turn, or has to trade away. Also using this Frothing Berserker. But first he's going to buff this thing up a lot. He's probably going to want to use this execute on that. This is interesting.
It's time for a little
Mighty Berserker. Okay, so it's a little bit of a cheaper version of a Grim Patron Warrior, but it's still very much a perfect usable one. So 16 damage to the face. We're all the way down to 14 now. But we can... Oh, nearly misplayed that. Flame Cannon first. And then another Water Elemental because this is a warrior. Okay. Now he has only 2 cards in hand. We have already seen one Acolyte of Pain. He didn't get that much out of it. He only got 2 cards out of it. He is actually... I'm actually ahead of him in card lore. He's only going to draw 1 card now with his Battle Rage. So he's actually not going to be able to probably burst me down. Though a Guamash would be able to pretty much kill me still. No, the Death Spite will not be able to actually do anything, but Cruel Taskmaster we have seen 2. I can remember that. That was the weird trading at first. I'm pretty certain that was against this one. So, we cannot see any Cruel Taskmaster on Guamash, so we're probably still 2 away from being... Okay, so he's going to GG. Oh, there's a card drawing Commanding Shout. I didn't know that. Cool, but still, GG. Another win against the Grim Patron Warrior. And nearly all the way down to 13. Well, there's not much to say in the conclusion on this deck. On NRJanos deck here. So I was right in before. Really, this is just solid, aggressive tempo deck. Whenever you actually learn to get into the groove of playing tempo, it works really, really well. I mean, we have had only one win after the other. All of the wins were very, very convincingly done. Except for that against that priest at first, but I've been on a winning streak from 18 to 14 now. So this deck, in conclusion, is really, really strong. And I can understand why everyone is really up in arms about it. So thank you for watching. See ya.